Peace, this is Jarrell with Quantum Light Consciousness. Today I want to talk about how to clear yourself out of duality. Okay? So I've been experiencing a few things over the past couple of weeks, basically just off of my own perception of my own view of the collective consciousness and how others also perceive the collective consciousness, and the way we all interact in this holographic sphere, or this living reality matrix that a lot of people like to call it, and how our reflections of duality play off each other and what we actually think it is actually. Okay, so I kind of just want to start this video on based off what duality is and what it isn't, only because this is very important for me, because a lot of the things that are said and a lot of the things that are taught right now in the awakening community is based off of spiritual teachings, based off of what some guru has said, or what a select few of gurus have said, or has shed light upon, based off of one person's view to raise their vibrations high enough and clear their emotional, energetic, psychological fields clear enough to see this viewpoint. And on this duality wheel, on this duality matrix, you either get one view or you get another view. You get one person's view or you get a view from the collective that is just regurgitated from that same person. Okay? I kind of want the basis of this blog to shift to your own individual view, your own personal view, your own objective view of your own reality, because that's the only way that you can actually awaken. If you look through your own eyes and you see with your own soul and you read energy for your own empathy from what you feel it at, from what you sense it at, and from what you perceive it at. Okay, because that's the only way to make progress. Okay, if you're looking to do so, if you're watching this video. Alright, so in this video, I want to go over the pitfalls first of duality. Alright, and in this holographic matrix, you kind of want to learn how to read energy. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like that's the key. It's like, if you incarnate on Earth and you don't understand how to read energy, anybody could tell you anything. Anybody could do anything. And by the rules that banks play at, by corporations play at, by what education institutions play at, by what medical care institutions play at, is if they can get away with doing something to you, they're allowed to do it. Like, if basically they think if you're dumb enough to fall for the cancer, if you're dumb enough to fall for the college degree, if you're dumb enough to fall for the IRA, stocks and bonds, the things that actually have no actual value whatsoever, they just limit and they funnel energy off of to some dark source in reality, then they're allowed to do that. Okay, they're allowed to keep you sick, they're allowed to keep you not as educated as you actually could be, and they're allowed to keep you out of your own abundance. All right, because they say, well, these people are choosing that, so they choose to hoodwink you as best as they possibly can. Okay, so when one person gets out of this duality wheel, you get to actually see what duality actually is, and how to clear yourself out of that engrained mentality. Okay, so let's get to there. Okay, it all comes back to my personal view right now, based off of what duality is. Okay, there's a lot of things happening in the collective. Like, take movies for example. Take the Joker, this Joker movie. Like there aren't enough clown things going on in the collective right now. We need a clown movie that everybody's going to focus on. All right, that's based off of bipolarism, whatever you want to call it. Being bipolar, or being one extreme to where it's totally twisted and unbalanced to the point where it gets violent and distorted. All right, I didn't even see the movie. I saw the first Batman with the first dude who channeled Joker energy, clown energy, and he ended up dying. Like I'm a huge Heath Ledger fan. I'm a huge Heath Ledger fan. May he rest in peace. Brilliant actor, awesome person, I'm sure. However, like that energy is deadly. That energy can kill somebody. All right, and that's basically how the world is being run, off that energy. Okay, so I actually got a chance to actually read that frequency and look at that frequency. And what that frequency is bipolar. It's duality. All right, that's what duality is. Is when I looked at, I'm in the void, in my sphere of light. I look at frequency of what it is. I'm like, okay, I wonder what this idea, concept actually is. This duality concept, what it is. I look at it, what I see is a sick brain, like a brain that does not function correctly. It's like a brain that is completely split, like a brain that doesn't understand that it's a whole functioning unit, because a brain is actually a functioning unit. It's like people on this planet, like God bless them all, like they all think that things are like totally separated, which is the duality illusion. Okay, it's like you incarnate here and you see you as a reflection of yourself somewhere else in the world, as an illusion of being totally separate. However, there's limits to that. However, it's not totally like extremely split. Like the word split doesn't even make sense. The word split, like all you're doing is cutting something, and you can only cut something as many times as until there isn't anything left of it. It's not split, there's just nothing left. It's like you can cut something until it's disintegrated. Like there's nothing. You take a carrot, chop the carrot, you get to the end of the carrot, okay, what do you have? You just have pieces of a carrot. Alright, you don't call it split, you just call it pieces of a carrot. Alright, same with like creation, like that's where it starts. People think it's a split in creating. Like when a father and mother create a child, they're not splitting themselves. Like that's not what's happening. You have the sperm and the egg. I don't have to tell you guys this stuff. Like they create a person. Like they create a person out of their creation energy. That's creation, and then you get creation. That's what that is. Like it's all one. That's what I'm saying here. All right, so I'm sitting in the void, looking at this sick brain, and making all the connections about like how duality is screwing everybody over. I'm seeing like if we would just be in our hearts and be able to see how the world is run from our own hearts, to be able to look at the rights and wrongs that we do for our own selves, then we actually be able to make headway in our own spiritual evolution. Okay? It really just depends on your eyes to see, your willingness to see, and your own intensity to bring about that understanding for yourself. All right? So it's like when you continue to work on yourself and you continue to move along your own spiritual journey, it's like one reflection will only lead after another path, then another breadcrumb, down another road, and you're down another alleyway, and then before you know it, you're out of the matrix altogether, looking back down and like, okay, I have a wide vantage point and my options are completely open. And a lot of things about duality, it's just like you look at it and it doesn't make sense. Like it really doesn't make sense. Like I've been still seeing a lot of things. People don't realize that they're being run by their emotions. It's like just look at what you're feeling when you're feeling it and what's happening around you, and then learn to discern like how you're feeling. Like, are you feeling anger, or are you just stressed out and then things are getting to you overly and agitated from the energy that is being projected by your mobile device? Like, it's a lot of things that go into coherence that you have to process. And it's like, oh well, who has time for that? Like, we all got jobs, we all got things to do, we all have to go to school, make a living. Like, sure. And these things all reflect off of your own willingness to kind of participate and pay attention to your own soul, because these things are very, very important, and these things, like, they're must-haves. Like, you can't get out of duality unless you understand it, which is why we're here, to understand it. And the good news is, like, once you understand it, it's easy. It's easy as understanding you have a body. Like, I know, like, I'm not a split person or a split personality because I have one body, all right? I have one brain, okay? You have the left hemisphere, and then you have the right hemisphere, and then you have the midbrain, all right? And it all functions as one because there's one brain. There's one brain. And you see people learning, and then you're like, if you guys are just focused on the geometry, if you just look at the geometry and how you can use the geometry for yourself to actually flow your energy in a harmony with nature. It's like going out, connecting with nature, and then clearing all those disharmonic artificial frequencies that have been throwing you in the ditch energetically your entire life. Like literally, it's a lot of things that goes into being an energy being. So the most effective way to actually clear your energy out of these ingrained tracks of duality through your own energy field is actually understanding that when you identify these negative patterns, you can remove them because you have the power to do so, to identify yourself as your energy primarily over any outside energy, and then moving into that state of sovereignty to actually clear it. And as you clear, you get that knowledge and that wisdom to understand that as you're clearing, it's a process, and that process may not happen in completion directly exactly when you start it. Okay, so when you have agitation, anger, rage, sickness, depression, extreme sadness in your field for a long time, you have to work on that at, like, you know, as much as you can, like just being mindful of your thoughts, just being like understanding of your thoughts and emotions and where they're coming from, to progressively disentrain them and move them out and away from you, because it's like I'm coming from a place of just unified physics, like completely energetically embodied 100% as my own individual universe. So I can actually see thought forms every once in a while. I can see thought forms. So if I see an attachment sitting in my house where I don't want it, and I'm like, okay, I don't want that there. Like, what the hell is that doing there when I walk into this room? Okay, what I do is I tell my angels to remove it, and they'll remove it. However, there will be an imprint still where that thought form was, or where that entity was, that sludge thing was, of just empathic dissonance. Okay, and you could still, well, I'll still see a shadow of that. However, it's a process. So it's like we're sitting in a universe that is oceanic, based off of memory. And once you remove a thought form, that memory is still ingrained there. However, it's gone, and then it continues to be gone as you continue to make it gone. All right, same with your thoughts. All right, so if you're in a house with your, like, say the house is you, and then you have your own thoughts, emotions, you want stuff gone, say, okay, we're cleaning this up. I want depression gone, I want sadness gone, I want feeling tired gone, I want more happiness, more joy, and I want to feel like a kid again, except be able to handle my own stuff. All right, there's a lot of things you got to work on. It's like the same thing though. Like, you understand what you have to remove, and you take out the trash. It's like taking out the trash. However, you know the trash is going to come back if you continue to not clean it up. You have to keep the darkness and negativity and dissonance outside at bay, and continue to take it out, so you can keep your energy going and flowing the best way you see fit. So like, you don't have to be like some type of track star or pro athlete, or like, you know, like a pro, some type of extraordinary artist or music producer to know that you're an energy being. Like, it's just simple things, and you just look at yourself, and then you understand, like, okay, well, if I'm feeling polarizing energy coming from somewhere, that's probably not me, because I understand myself as pure light, as pure unconditional love, and I processed that depression, that rage, that greed, that whatever it is a long time ago, and I'm not doing anything to bring that into my field. So I'm going to shield and hold my space for my sovereign right, for the individual I know as my own, for my own right to exist the way I feel like I have a right to exist as. Okay, so that's it. Like, I kind of just understand that, like, all these things, like a lot more things happen, but it's like things on my higher self, and then breaking them out of this duality chain and bringing them into a completed view of the entire universe. Like, I don't want to go too far. Like, of course, I can make advanced videos like that, but it's like, if you guys aren't willing to actually absorb it, or if you like think that may be too much information for you, then, you know, that's totally fine. Like, as long as you get the idea of like the clown things that are going on in the collective, like the news, like nobody's watched the news this much before in their entire lives. Like, there's clearly something going on. Like, there's something there's like opposition happening, there's a takeover happening, and there's a civil war that's obvious going on. Like, you can pick a side if you want. At least understand there's something going on, and understand that you aren't just you aren't just a person working a job or going to school, and that isn't just you. You're a light being, or call yourself something like anything but a mundane 3D human who doesn't know what's going on. Like, not that there's anything bad about that. It's just like, if you're willing to progress, that's the only way to go. You have to understand you're in duality, and you gotta get out of duality. Alright, so peace and love. If you guys like a session, I do sessions at quantumlight.net. I do healing, intuitive coaching, numerology reading, and a lot more coming up. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.